Jury selection set to start in the high-profile case of Kouri Richins. What you can expect as it gets underway. And a man convicted of killing a Spanish Fork teenager set to be released from prison today. I'll be joined by KSL Legal Analyst Skordas to go deeper into the legal details of his release. And the Olympic dream can come with a hefty price tag. How you can save some money if you decide to jump into a winter sport.
Live and streaming, this is KSL News Now.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for being with us on this Tuesday, February 10th. I'm Lori Pritchard. We'll get to those stories in just a bit, but first, Brian Carlson is watching our traffic. You were out yesterday even timing traffic to make sure people could get to where they're going on time.
Well, we see some of those drive times and I'm like, is that actually right? All right, I want to find out. I want to know for sure.
I salute you for doing that. I'm sure people at home do as well. Matt Johnson, let's talk about this winter storm that is slowly approaching. Are we going to see any snow out of it?
Yes, we will. In the mountains. Now, in the valleys, and I think a lot of people are happy about it, right? A little designer storm, if you will. We're going to get rain in the valleys and snow in the mountains. So today, it's going to be clouds and an isolated shower can't be ruled out. Now, tomorrow, it'll be valley rain and mountain snow. It'll come in windows and periods. It won't be all day long nonstop. But, you know, I think we'll get a good drink of water. Lingering showers will continue into Thursday. Right now, this looks a lot more ominous than what's actually hitting the ground, but I think it's worth showing you because we are getting some snowflakes trying to fall through the dry layer, but a lot of times they'll evaporate before they even reach the ground. Now, the mountaintops and mountain passes have a better chance to see those snowflakes come through because they don't have to fall as far to hit the ground, right, in those higher elevations. West central Utah picking up a little bit of the same activity there, as a warm front is actually working through central and northern Utah today. So your bus stop forecast 33, cloudy. Now into the afternoon, we'll go for highs in the upper 40s as the warm front keeps clouds around, pushes temperatures up, and might produce a couple of showers, Brian.
Yeah, we keep seeing it on some of these kind of combo traffic weather maps, but not really actually making it onto the ground here this morning. So as far as the roads are concerned, let's say I-15 here in Midvale, back and forth, north and south right here, roughly 78 south. Things are looking pretty good. Traffic's starting to pick up, as you can see. Drive times for everybody. Now, despite no snow on the road, you have some slowdowns, but major, like the main arteries, Ogden, Tooele, Provo, A-OK. Lori?
Brian, thank you for that. Now to our top story this morning. Jury selection set to begin today in the highly anticipated murder trial of Kouri Richins. Attorneys will spend the next several days questioning potential jurors to ensure a fair and impartial panel. News specialist Tyrese Boone live with a closer look at what we can expect as this case moves forward. Tyrese.
Good morning, Lori. As you said later today, attorneys will be questioning potential jurors for this case as they set to work for a fair jury. Now, let's go back to last Monday. Now, on last Monday, the judge rejected a renewed defense request to transfer Kouri Richins' murder trial to Salt Lake County. The defense argued that juror questionnaires showed many people are familiar with the case, while prosecutors noted that a large portion of potential jurors reported little or no prior knowledge. The judge sided with the prosecution, ruling that a fair and impartial jury can still be seated locally. Attorneys are expected to start questioning jurors later today. Jury selection is scheduled to last up to 6 days, with the trial set to begin February 23rd. Richins, a chemist's mother, is accused of poisoning her husband, Eric Richins, in March of 2022 with fentanyl and attempting to poison him weeks earlier on Valentine's Day. She faces several felony charges, including aggravated murder and forgery. Now, if jury selection is on schedule, once again, the case will start on February 23rd, and the judge is also asking for the case to be concluded by March 27th. Reporting live, Tyrese Boone, KSL 5 News. Back to you, Lori.
Tyrese, thank you for that report. And right now, the state is taking action against Utah Transportation Service after 3 disabled men died in their care. The victims died from carbon monoxide poisoning after being left in a van parked in a garage for several hours. An employee is already facing charges for manslaughter. Now the company is under investigation.
Of it is to kind of push pause and just be like, you know, we're not bringing any new clients in until we have a chance to come in and investigate.
EHHS has issued a notice of emergency action against Safe and Sound Services. That program is still running, but with a set of emergency conditions while they investigate. A retired Salt Lake City Fire Battalion chief is now in jail, accused of purchasing and viewing child sex abuse material. Investigators found hundreds of files on Kelly Carter's phone dating back to 2020. The 51-year-old was booked into the Salt Lake County Jail on Friday. Carter had just retired from the city's fire department back in December. The Salt Lake County Health Department and the National Center on Shaken Baby Syndrome now teaming up to help new parents respond safely during high-stress moments. The department is adding shaken baby prevention to its home visit program. That service reaches nearly 700 families each month. Leaders say this program will help prevent child abuse rather than responding after a child has been harmed. Utah Coalition Against Sexual Assault holding its Advocacy Day on Capitol Hill today. Survivors and service providers say lawmakers need to approve additional funding for programs, including the statewide sexual assault helpline.
When someone reaches out to the helpline, they are met by a trained advocate who believes them, who listens without judgment, and who reminds them, often for the first time, that what happened was not their fault.
Leaders say thousands of victims will be impacted if the funding ends. Rangers say Utah's lack of snow has some people making bad decisions on popular trails. Drivers have left behind large ruts in the Soapstone complex along the Mirror Lake Scenic Byway. Rangers say people are getting stuck or creating hazards for snowmobilers.
Ski can catch one of those ruts and throw a rider off and create hazards and accidents for snowmobile users on the trail.
Rangers say no one should drive a vehicle over 800 pounds on the groomed trails. They say if you see this bad behavior, please report it. Some much needed snow in the mountains on Monday and a little bit of rain in the valley. This is what was captured at some resorts across the state. As you can see, the same story, fresh powder, and that's exactly what we need right now. Let's get to Matt Johnson and talk about that. Hopefully in the next 24 hours, we're going to see some fresh powder, Matt.
Oh yeah, most definitely in the mountaintops. But again, with this storm, it's just not the coldest, and that's been the trend this season. It's really a frustrating thing, but I think we'll still get snow, mainly above 6,500 and 7,000 feet. You got Provo at 34 degrees right now, 33 in Salt Lake. And when we look at these numbers and compare them to yesterday morning, we are colder by about 10 to 15, even 20 degrees in some spots. Delta's 34 and 41 in Moab. The change in temperature over the last 24 in eastern Utah is not as great as northern Utah. The reason for the change is a warm front. So we've got flow out of the south behind this front, and on the other side, that's where the cold air is. And whenever you do that, you could produce a couple of showers, so we can't rule that out today. But I think mostly we're just going to see the cloud cover. Low pressure system off the California coast. Got a lot of moisture with it, but it is starting to lose steam as it moves into Utah, and the air just not terribly cold. I got temperatures in the mid and upper 40s today for the Wasatch, 50s and 60s all the way down into southern Utah. Thick cloud cover across the state today. We're going to get teased in areas, but tomorrow and Thursday, we're going to add snow to the mountains, rain to the valleys. Brian, it's a welcome sight. I'll walk you through it coming up.
That sounds good. Let's walk you through with what you can expect on the morning commute out there this morning. So, road map here this morning, giving you that combo of what you can expect for the morning drive with the weather overlay right here. The white means snow conditions right here. You've got that orange kind of yellow color means foggy conditions. Either way, they're looking at this thinking, okay, we're going to see some snowy roads. Well, that's not necessarily the case right here. You take a look at the live camera here, Spanish Fork, I-15 headed north. The sunlight's giving us a nice view here. There's no snow on the road out there right now. So although there's snow falling, possibly, it's not actually hitting the ground there, Lori.
All right. Thank you, Brian. Okay, in just a matter of hours today, the man convicted in the 1995 killing of Kiplyn Davis is set to be released from prison. Timmy Brent Olson, now 48, was convicted of manslaughter in this case back in 2011 and was sentenced up to 15 years in prison. Kiplyn was 15 years old when she vanished from Spanish Fork High School back in 1995. Her body has still not been found. Olson was not required to reveal the whereabouts as part of a plea deal. And this morning, I'm joined by KSL Legal Analyst Skordas to dive a little bit deeper into this case. That seems like a miscarriage of justice. Her body has yet to be found. It has been 31 years since she was killed.
Right, and the Utah County authorities were looking everywhere to try to find her, and they sort of ultimately ended up on 4 suspects that they thought were involved in her death, and they had indicated that they had been with her. She's never been found, so we don't know who killed her or what the circumstances were. But this Timothy Brent Olson pled guilty 15 years ago, not to murder, but to manslaughter. And what he said was, I've got his plea right here, he said, I aided and encouraged others to recklessly cause her death, which is a manslaughter. Manslaughter carries 1 to 15 years in prison, and he did every day of that. I mean, he pled guilty 15 years ago today, and so he did every day. The board even said, you'll do the whole time unless you tell us, unless you're willing to disclose where she is or disclose other information about it. He never did. He remained silent the entire time, and so he did the entire 15-year term.
Well, if you've lived in Utah for any amount of time, you've heard of this case. I mean,
Right.
It has stretched on for years. And the poor family who has been looking for their daughter and tirelessly trying to figure out who killed her. Why do you think he has kept silent? I mean, there was no incentive for him to do that.
You know, I don't know, because all 4 of them have. I mean, there are four men who know what happened here. I absolutely believe that, and I think the Utah County authorities do as well. But no one's willing to come forward and say anything, even to the point where he's willing to do the whole 15-year term. So I don't know what kind of bond they had, what kind of understanding they had, or whether or not they're afraid. But he can't face murder charges now. Jeopardy's attached, and he can't serve another day in jail or prison, no matter what he discloses. But he still is remaining silent as to what exactly happened. And that family, like you said, Lori, have struggled. They don't know where their daughter is, or if they'll ever see Kiplyn Davis, any part of her body or anything like that, ever.
Yeah, that's why I said, you know, this seems like it's a miscarriage of justice, particularly for that family who has never received closure. Let's talk about when he is released from prison, he will not serve a day of parole. Is that correct?
No, because parole is what you get when you haven't served your sentence. So if you get 15 years in prison and you do 10, then you do 5 years of parole. He did the whole 15, so there's nothing else that can be done. He won't serve probation, he won't serve parole, he won't pay fines, he won't do community service, he won't do anything. He completed the entirety of his sentence, and there's nothing more that the state of Utah can do to punish him for that particular crime.
You know, we have a whole host of people who are kind of armchair sleuths right now, podcasters who are going out and trying to solve crimes. Is this something that maybe people one day might be able to help solve? Are Utah County prosecutors still on, or investigators still working this case?
Absolutely. They'll never give up. They'll never give up this case. But like you say, it's been 31 years now since she's been missing. Who knows what remains of her remains? I mean, and that's terrible to say. And these 4 young men that were involved in this have maintained their silence, and they've maintained their bond, I guess, together to do that. But no, the Utah County authorities will never give up on this case. But just be clear, even if they find the body, and even if someone does say Timothy Brent Olson killed her, he served his time. He cannot be charged with anything else related to her death.
Of course, as you mentioned, it's double jeopardy. So
Right.
there will be another day in prison that he will serve. This
Exactly.
is it.
Right.
All right, KSL Legal Analyst Greg Skordas, thanks so much for your time this morning. We appreciate it. All right, taking a live look to downtown Salt Lake City on this Tuesday morning, February 10th, as the sun just begins to come up. We're going to check in with Matt Johnson. Matt, we were hoping for a major winter storm to come through. How is that looking like right now? Is it major? Is it minor? Is it eh?
You know, I call it medium.
Okay.
Definitely not major, but you know, it's something that'll add to the water totals on the year, and I think we're going to get some snow at higher elevations. Now, Kristen Hershey, Bear River Bird Refuge, is showing really calm waters, no ice, minimal snowpack. We got to change that, and we're going to try to, as we watch low pressure swing in a warm front. A lot of times out ahead of these lows, you get southwest flow, and that ushers in warm air. And this warm front is clashing, and it looks like the cameras are clashing right now too. But you can see a couple of snow showers here. As the camera passes by, we've got these snow showers that'll likely linger in the higher elevations, but some rain showers in the valleys. That's today. I mean, nothing special. We're talking about clouds and some spits and sputters of rain. Rain showers tomorrow with snow showers up above 6,500 feet generally. And that'll remain the case as we head into Wednesday 5 p.m., valley rain and mountain snow. It'll come in periods and waves, and that'll be the case as we head into Thursday. 2 p.m., more mountain snow. So valley rain totals, we got 1/10 to 1/4 from St. George to Cedar City. Central Utah, somewhere around 1/10. Eastern Utah, a couple of hundredths to 1/4. And across the Wasatch Front, it now looks like 1/4 to 1/2. Snow potential, Wednesday and Thursday combined. I've got northern mountains 4 to 8, 8 to 16 for the Cottonwoods, central mountains 2 to 5, and 3 to 10 for the southern mountains. All right, central Utah, you've got highs topping around 50 degrees, and it's going to be mostly cloudy. You're keeping those clouds around for southern Utah, 50s, and we even have some upper 60s for St. George. Northern forecast, 49 in West Valley, and the same in Heber City, but I do think there could be a couple of rain snow showers along the Wasatch back, and you got some upper 40s, low 50s along the Wasatch. St. George, you got mostly cloudy, 68, and we got a chance for showers tomorrow. It's dry, and then we bring in another round of showers as we head into Monday. Wasatch Front, chance for showers both Wednesday and Thursday. We're then going to go for some milder temperatures over the weekend as we kick in a southerly flow. And then, Brian, I got another storm dialed up as we head into Monday and Tuesday.
I love what you're dialing up there. Thank you much, Matt. Let's see what we got dialed up for your morning commute. Taking a live look here in Lehigh. This is Kouri Richins Highway at the intersection where it syncs up with Mountain View Corridor. At least the option to turn onto Mountain View Corridor. That's what all these cars right here, they're just waiting in that left-hand turning lane to get through. So you can either go one direction or the other. I'll show you what it's like if you're trying to get through to Pioneer Crossing. Because that Pioneer Crossing right through here, if you're going from west towards east right here, the same thing with 2100 North in Lehigh. It's going to slow you down a bit. And then Timpanogos Highway, trying to do the same thing, going the other direction, get onto I-15 on Highway 92. It's going to slow you down just a little bit out there. Lori?
All right, Brian, thank you for that. Folks in charge of Utah's transportation systems, they're in Italy right now taking notes and hoping to get new ideas to bring back for our own Winter Games in 2034. They're learning more about security, venue operations, and transportation. As part of the Olympic Observer Program, it allows future Olympic host committees to see what the current host is doing. Those with the Utah Transit Authority say they're confident in their transportation capabilities when the time comes.
We want transportation to be seamless, that you don't ever think about where you're going. We are already very well prepared. What we're learning is really how to refine as opposed to how to do it.
Officials also preparing for new events we didn't have in 2002, like slopestyle and big air competitions as well. KSL Sports' Sam Farnsworth spotted Utah Mammoth captain Clayton Keller in Italy over the weekend. The 27-year-old is hoping to make a big splash in his very first Olympic Games. This was his first time out on the ice with the team in Milan. He'll have to wait a little while, though. The U.S. men take on Latvia this Thursday. All of the Olympic action picking back up this morning right here on KSL television. It begins at 10 o'clock with men's free ski slopestyle, women's single luge, men's and women's sprint classic, and part 2 of the men's short program. Ilya Malinin, he is the one to watch. Also, this talk about the Olympics has a group of parents and students starting a new high school ski racing league in Utah. Many of these students are already on ski racing clubs and are on the slopes each and every day. But having a high school competition would bring a lot more students in and a lot more competition.
They want to go faster and they want to be on that world stage. And Utah's a great place to have that momentum and to carry it forward.
Organizers say they want to start it as a club sport and see it grow into high school mountain biking, something like that. This new league is kicking off with 2 race competitions, one on February 28th at the Utah Olympic Park and the other on March 11th at Sundance Resort. Just head over to utahskiracing.org to sign up. Well, it seems like most people as kids dreamed of growing up to be an Olympian. Maybe that spark has been reignited as you're watching this year. While the cost of jumping into a winter sport can be daunting, here are a few ways it can become a little more affordable. Utah Ski Gear offers trade-ins and sells used equipment for deep discounts. Other ways to save on the slopes include going to smaller resorts, skiing later in the day, and buying a season pass early when it's still on sale. There's more to do in Utah than just ski and snowboard. The Olympic Oval in Kearns offers speed skating, figure skating, hockey, and curling. The Oval provides free lessons for kids at certain schools, and for others, scholarships are available.
Are able to get up to 25% off of your session of the sport that you would like to learn. No matter your age or your ability, we have a home here.
So if you want to try it out, the Oval's website has more information, or you can connect with those who want to become a future Olympian. I just want to mention my good friend, gold medalist Derek Parra. He teaches at the Olympic Oval, so you can get on that ice and potentially be taught by someone who knows how fast to go and what it takes to be an Olympian. So it's pretty cool.
That is very cool. And maybe a discount code of Lori to get that. Hey, we're taking a look at your camera out here at live cam over Salt Lake City. Clouds and a couple of showers, possible mainly in the mountaintops. You look at the radar, it looks rather ominous down here towards southern Utah County and Juab County, but temperatures are in the 30s. Don't be surprised if you see a rain snow shower. But along most of the Wasatch Front, it's 30s, 20s in Heber. I got 30s out there in the basin. 3-day forecast, I got 48 today, mostly cloudy. We're going to keep it cloudy tomorrow, but we're adding showers. Those will continue into Thursday and above about 6,500 or 7,000 feet, Brian. I think we're going to see some more snowfall, which has been something we just haven't seen quite some time.
Yeah, weird to talk about, but it's actually out there this morning. Not necessarily causing any issues on the roads this morning. We do have a crash this morning that just popped up seconds ago. I can kind of pinpoint it right here. So this is Antelope Drive coming up through on Highway 89. So this is where the crash is, coming northbound on 89. You can see it on the traffic camera that's in that area. If I just kind of show you as I pull it up. So northbound 89 going against the grain from the normal morning commute, blocking one of the lanes of traffic out there this morning. That's really one of the bigger hiccups out there. But as you can see, traffic obviously is not the main flow, so it shouldn't slow too many people down. Lori?
Just looking up and seeing the people at the very top row, and every seat was full, and I was just like, this is gonna be crazy.
Yeah, two brothers from Spanish Fork living out their dreams, dancing on one of the biggest stages in the world. There they are. Vince and Chris Castillo have both worked on major projects, from music videos to award shows like the Oscars to the Super Bowl. Vince says the preparation for this show was intense, with rehearsals lasting nearly a month. They were often 10 hours a day so they could perform with Bad Bunny during the halftime show. He says working like a superstar with Bad Bunny made the experience even more unforgettable. He says he hopes their story sends a message that you can do anything you put your mind and heart to. Isn't that the case? Well, whether it's gold, silver, or bronze, there is one thing the Milan Cortina Winter Olympic Games have in common. Those medals, they can break.
Not jump in Yuki. I was jumping in excitement and then it broke.
Yeah, Salt Lake City's Breezy Johnson making headlines not only for her gold medal run, but for her gold medal breaking while she was on the podium. A German biathlete also watched his bronze medal fall and crack while he was jumping for joy. Games organizers say that they've launched an investigation into the spate of mishaps and say they will be paying maximum attention to those medals. Just be careful how high you jump when you get excited. Thanks so much for joining us for this segment of KSL News Now. We leave you with a look of Salt Lake City waking up on this Tuesday morning. Have a great day.